Hi Aries, this is Jessica Corson with a New Moon Astrology. This is happening in your first house, or no, your third house, excuse me. And this is a Gemini ruled house. This is people that are close to you, so aunts, uncles, cousins. This is communication, internet, your intellectual thinking. So there may be some obstacles that kind of come up that ask you to let go of some things that, about how you think. Let go of some ideas that you have about, that are centered around family, centered around, connecting yourself through short distance travel. So this could be in the essence of, this is just one example of, going to the gym and, your way of thinking of is, I don't really like going to the gym. I don't want to do this. I don't want to blah, 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 blah. And then, you might just simply need to change your way of thinking about it, let go of old thought patterns, and then, shift your way of thinking of, well, I could just go to the gym once a week and start out with that. And, that would be really fun. It would be a fun addition to my schedule. And, I'm just going to try it and be positive about it. So just kind of focusing on your way of thinking, how you communicate. Are there different ways that you can communicate with technology, social media, stuff like that, or the way that you think about those things going forward? This is also, all forms of communication, and those distant but close family members that live within a close proximity of you. What are you going to let go of where you could shift your direction, either shift your energy in a different direction, or just shift your way of thinking about things. Taurus, this is happening around money, values, security, your self-worth. So you're really going to be focused with obstacles and challenges and stuff like that about, either how you're spending your money, how are you making money, those kinds of things. What are your higher ways of thinking about how you manage money, those kinds of things. And there's also that aspect of thinking about, your self-worth, and sometimes we put our self-worth in our finances, and, maybe you need to change your way of thinking about those things. And also, where are you putting your energy, and is the where you are centering your energy making, like, increasing your self-worth in a positive way, and what can you let go of, how you think of things that can help with that. Attachments, so things that you own or possess, or ideas that you have about possessions. This could even be people, places, and things. So what are your ways of thinking about things that you are attached to that you could change? So maybe you think that you need to spend time with these people, or you think that you need to make money this way. And, what are some ways that you could change that maybe you don't need to spend as much time with those people, and maybe you do it this way, and that will be a more positive experience for you, for your self-worth. Maybe you don't need to make money this way. Maybe you could shift your ideas this way, your way of thinking about things this way, and try and do something different. Get creative, get curious about something else. So yours is, your thoughts are about your self-worth, your values, and stuff like that. Gemini, this is in your first house. So this is how you project out into the world. This is how you think about, okay, so let's say you walk into a room of people, and, how do you think that other people think about you? So do you walk into the room and you have all these higher ways of, you have these idealistic ways of thinking about things, and, you're projecting all this out into the room, and everybody else, and you think, everybody else is loving the way that I'm presenting this, and everybody in the room thinks, like, this really sucks and I don't want to be here. Or, do you think about things like, you walk into a room and you're thinking everybody in the room hates you, and so you're quiet, shriveled up over here in the corner, but then really everybody in the room loves you. And if you would just let go of your thoughts about how the room views you, you could experience something different. So this is your your mask, your self-expression, how you express yourself. So are there things that you can let go of, your way of thinking about things that would allow you to express yourself differently? Cancer, this is in your 12th house, and this is all your unconscious thoughts, actions, doings. This is karma, your spirituality, really it's the things that you do without even thinking about them. Person walks into the room, you just instantly hug them, or you I don't know. So there's just going to be obstacles that might come up that will invite you to kind of release different ways of doing things. So just be aware, and this might be the hardest house to work with because it's the unconscious actions that you take. So these are things that you do that lead to yourself undoing. So just be aware of that, and just invite in maybe some different ways of thinking and choose to handle a situation differently, just to kind of recreate some new cycles, new ways of doing things. Because Cancer can be kind of defensive, and so if you are constantly unconsciously reacting to something the same way but expecting a different result, just be a little bit more conscious as situations kind of pop up. So then Leo, this is in your 11th house, and so what are different ways that you think about things within social groups that maybe if you chose differently, that you would have a more positive interaction with people that you like, your friends and social groups, and people that you, so like say it's that like we're having a girls' night or a guys' night, it's that group of people that you are all getting together. They're the friends that you choose, the social groups that you choose in your life. What are some ways of thinking about things that you can release that would allow for you to connect either with different people, or to connect with the people that you are already connected with differently in a more positive way that's going to fulfill you? Virgo, this is your 10th house. So what are different ways within, your workspace and how you work, your career, this is your public life. This is, things that you do where you would be like, hey, look at me, things that you want to be known for. How could you think about things, or what are ways of thinking that you can let go of, that you could choose differently, either within your current job and situation, or how you achieve, commends for yourself, or could you choose a different way of doing those things, choose a different career or path that would fulfill you a little bit more, placing yourself in situations and thinking about it differently. Like if you think that this job, this career, this way of making money is the only way to do it, but you're not happy there, what if you changed your way of thinking about it and chose to do something differently, chose a different career, chose to have a higher self-esteem through a different way of doing things? Libra, this is your 9th house. So what are different ways of thinking about things, the ways of communicating within how you communicate your philosophy, how you think, your higher, more intelligent way of thinking, within philosophy, holding your philosophy in life? What are some old ways of thinking that you can release so that it would allow you to communicate, your passions and your, what you believe in a little bit differently? So approaching that and, aligning yourself differently, either within the same situations or shifting yourself this way and maybe choosing to share your philosophies in a different way. So let's say that this, like you have a Facebook page and, you own a business and, you want to express your philosophies through a social media site. How are you going to do that differently? That would allow you to reach more people, or, you know, to share what you have or you believe in a little bit differently than you have been doing before. Scorpio, this is your 8th house. So this is really like, you know, this is that transformation. This is choosing differently. You know, there could be a whole lot of stuff that kind of comes up that triggers some deep-seated ways of thinking about things, and, you know, might ask you to totally just kind of come out and do things differently, take a different approach to it, reinvent who you are. You know, be curious about different ways of doing things. You know, be curious about expressing yourself a little bit differently. You know, this is also large inheritances. So, you know, there could be something coming in that comes in unexpectedly with, you know, within your finances, that allows for you to totally recreate who you are. Or, you know, it might not even just be money. It just might be some energy that comes to you as a huge blessing that allows you to transform and recreate who you are. So then we have Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, this is within partnering. How could you partner different with others? How could you project? What are ideas about how you project onto others? You know, people, like relationships that you have either with spouses, you know, dating, friendships, all of those things. What are ways that you can think about things differently that would allow you to have a different experience within partnering? You know, there could be some unexpected stuff that kind of comes in for you that might challenge you to think about things differently, about people that you partner up with, or, you know, how you project out onto others. So it's like this idea, kind of like the Gemini, where you're sitting in the room with your, let's say your partner, and you always think in your head, oh, he never pays attention to me, he never does this, he never does that, he always blah blah blah. But that, and you're projecting that out. Well, what if you chose to project something different out there, and it changed the way that you thought and how you believed that the situation could happen, and it changes your experience? So maybe releasing your ideas of thinking of, I always need to partner with this type of situation, where maybe you might have a different situation if you partner up over here. So just kind of looking at that about, you know, how you're projecting out, and, you know, how you partner up with others. Capricorn, this is your 6th house. And so, you know, this is just asking you to change your way of thinking about how you do things on a daily basis, and choosing to do, you know, maybe either choosing to do what you're currently doing a little bit differently, or shifting your energy to completely different avenue, and creating a whole new routine within yourself, that a lot, you know, but that's also connecting your way of thinking about things. So thinking about what you do on a daily basis a little bit differently, and letting go of some of the ways that you were thinking about things, and what you could achieve, and how you could get things done. You know, how you could get that done a little bit differently. Aquarius, this is your 5th house, and this is, you know, how are you thinking about fun, and how are you communicating about how within romance and fun and pleasure and passion and all of that kind of stuff, how are you thinking about things and communicating to be able to embrace and bring those things into your life? So, you know, how are you communicating with others? Are you expressing yourself in a way that invites love in? Are you blocking it? You know, are you pushing it away because of the way that you think about things? So this is just asking you to kind of purge those thought patterns that aren't serving what you really want. You know, allowing you to connect with other people, and you know, experiencing joy and passion and love and fulfillment and all of those things. You know, what are some different ways that you can invite in that would allow for you to experience passion, joy, love, and to just invite some freaking fun into your life? So, you know, what are areas that you're blocking in the fun department? And lastly, Pisces, this is, how are you thinking about things within your home life? How do you see, like within your home life right now, when you look at all of your walls and the way the things are going within your house, does that align with who you are? Or should you be choosing differently? Does your way of thinking about things that's underneath your roof, could you change your way of thinking so that you can so that you can kind of, don't want to use the word conform, but maybe balance out a little bit more, where you're going to meet somebody underneath your roof halfway? Or does that, are you getting fulfilled through what's underneath your roof? And do you need to maybe shift to a different place? So, this could even be buying a new home, redecorating your house. Does the way that your house look align with who you are right now? Are your experiences within who you connect with underneath your roof aligning with who you are? Can you change the way that you think about things, about how you connect with those underneath your roof a little bit differently? So just kind of things to think about over this full moon, and maybe just think about releasing some of those things that don't align with you anymore, which will allow you to kind of move forward and express a little bit more joy, because you're underneath your own roof. That's what in my opinion, is what you want to take care of first. So just kind of focusing on that and pondering it and seeing where it takes you. So have a blessed new moon, and I will see you next time.